phonetically. Yevhenni.
Yeah, exactly.
Yevhenni. That could be an
It's so
Armenian
good.
name. That could be an Armenian. Yevhenni.
Yeah, its full name.
Yevhenni. And what's your last name?
Kirilenko.
I knew
Kirilenko.
Kirilemkov?
Kirilenko.
It's an O. Yeah, Kirilenko.
It's actually Ukrainian last name.
And you are Ukrainian?
Yep.
And you're in the Ukraine?
Yep. I'm born in Ukraine and live in Ukraine all the time.
And you're in the famous city of Odessa?
No. Actually, I'm from north of Ukraine. It's the Chernihiv region. It's bombed up now. Maybe you hear about it, yes. And I live sometime in Kyiv, yeah, a couple of years. And then I moved to Odessa and maybe a year live now here.
In Odessa?
In Odessa, yes.
Is Odessa the famous town where there was the meeting during World War II between?
Sure. Yeah, there was some events in the World War II, but I think Kyiv mostly famous on the World War.
I think I filmed an arm wrestling tournament in Odessa many years ago. And
maybe, you know, I'm not the Odessa citizen. I live in a year here, so I not too much know about Odessa.
Yeah.
I can tell you about the Kyiv, yes, about my own town, the Bobrovitsa city. It's a little city in the north of Ukraine, but I'm the guest in Odessa. You know, there is some special culture here, special people. It's very interesting. It's like the piece of culture of Ukraine. It's a big deal, you know.
And it's a beach town.
Yep, beach town and the rest city, many infrastructure for rest.
Say that one more time. It's a beach town and what?
Rest city for resting.
Oh, resting. Yes.
Yeah.
Resting. Caleb, can you pull? Are you on a phone? Are you on a phone, Yevhenni, or are you on a computer?
On the phone now, yes.
Okay. Can you? So we're gonna have a map just out occasionally, so that people who are watching can really start to visualize where this is at in the world. Can you tell me basically what's going on? I'm going to ask you just some really naive questions, but is Ukraine at war? Has Russia declared war on the Ukraine?
Yes. You know, we have a terrible war now. It's not just war. Now it's mostly like a terrorism, because civilians and children dying, infrastructure is being destroyed. You know, our life now it's produced to some meeting basic needs. You know, don't be the kill or blow up. Yes. To find some food, yes, and to take care of loved ones, and that's all that we can do now.
And how many people? What's the population of Ukraine?
It's near 40 million.
And what we're hearing now in the United States, the news is telling us that 1.5 million people have fled the country.
Yeah, it's true story, because I heard it every day from my friends, and I think about it. I think what I can do and go away from this horror, you know.
Where is your family? Where are your mom and dad?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question, because my father now sits in Kyiv. He go on the work right before the first bomb was on the Kyiv, yes, and he left there for the 10 days in a row now, and he alone there, but it's quite normal situation in that region in Kiev, in that region in Kiev. And my mother in the north of Ukraine, Chernihiv region. Yes, it's the place where Russian army go to Kiev. So there is many militarists in the streets, yes, and they can go to your home, yes, and take that they want, yes, they can just kill you, and it's terrible situation. So I'm on the phone with my mom, and today half of the day they don't have any mobile phone, so I can't talk with her, yes, and then I can talk with her, and she said everything good now, but we don't know how it be after 5 minutes, you know, because there was war.
No, you're doing great. This is kind of a hard question. I don't know if you know the answer, but when the cell phone service stops, is it because they destroyed the infrastructure, or is it because they have control of it and they're turning it off?
They every time try to remove something. They try to broke something, and now I don't know, with some technical problems, not that destroyed.
Okay.
Because mostly of cell phone is good now, and internet too.
Caleb, can you show me the map of the Ukraine one more time? And we hang out on this second. Why has Russia declared war on the Ukraine?
I think you can see this is a lot of information, yes, but the main side was because people of Ukraine want to be free, yes, and they want to have a government that go to the European stuff, yes, and the government of Russia want to have totalitarianism, yes, want to have they want to take their people, yes, and say what to do. Don't want to have free people, and that's why Putin he hates Ukrainians, I think.
So you think it's a personal issue? You think that Putin, it's a personal issue, that he doesn't like Ukraine and he doesn't like the Ukrainian people, and so he's attacking?
He's scared that if we go in the right way and can be free, and because of us, his people also want to be free and want to go on the streets and have some revolution, you know.
So gotcha. You're a bad influence in the region because of your desire to be free.
Yes, and the second reason is NATO. Yes, he think about NATO. Yes, every time, and it was the reason that he like a shield for him. So he tells that NATO is close, and I must do something because they want to. I don't know what they want for Putin, but he scared and thinks that he must do something.
So Ukraine is the buffer country between Russia and NATO.
The interesting thing is that there are two other countries that are already bordering Russia that are part of NATO. I'm pretty sure it's like Latvia and Belarus or something.
No, not Belarus.
Or maybe it's one of these northern bordering countries.
Is Finland part of NATO?
No,
they're trying to be.
No.
Okay. And the Finnish and the Russians don't get along either, huh? Yevhenni, the Finnish people and the Russians they're not friends either, correct?
Yep.
But are the Ukrainians friends with the Russian people? I don't mean the governments, but the people.
Yeah, mostly we are friends. All the time we was friends. There is many situations where was some questions about that, but if we start talk about the CrossFit community, all the time, all the history of CrossFit in Ukraine, Russia was a friend for us. So till that moment that we have now, when all the guys now quiet and don't tell anything. When we have such a terrible situation, they just quiet and say that they very sad and okay.
Yeah, it's just so you know, it's like that in the United States also. There's people get very scared, and I'm guessing it's the same situation there. People get scared and they don't want to speak up. They're afraid to speak up. When I was in Sochi and I filmed a movie there, and it was with a Russian Olympian named Alexei Vovoda, but he was Ukrainian, and he always spoke so fondly of Ukraine. His origins were from Ukraine, and I always just assumed that they were nearly identical people.
Not identical, but very closely. Like all the Belarus, Ukraine, and Russia. Yes, we not the same. Yes, but closely.
How long has there been a threat from Russia? How old are you, Yevhenni?
I'm 27 years old.
Has your entire life there been a spirit of threat or a chance of threat from Russia? Have you always felt that your whole life?
We teach history in school, and all the history of Ukraine is the history when Russia attacked us, yes, and then some good times when we try to build the country, yes, and be without big brother, like it's called, because all the time in history, Russia want to kill our nationality. Putin go to us now with the some reasons. He want to demilitarize us, yes, denationalize us, and want to neutral Ukraine, yes, with the wars. And that's the situation that we have all that history of Ukraine. So I live in 90s, yes, and there was a friendly situation when nothing was happened. We listen Russian music, yes, watch Russian TV, but all the time that was like propaganda, yes, for these events that we have now, because Putin come to us and want to protect Russian people, so people who talk Russians. All the Ukrainian know Russian, but in Russia, when you talk with Ukrainian language, yes, it's very little % of people understand what you talk. So we all know Russians, we can understand Russian, but they most situations they don't know Ukrainian. So it's a situation when years and years we have this big brother that want to tell what we want, but we don't want this. Yes, we want to go to civilization and have some good stuff, not all these terrible things.
There's obviously the story of what's happening, what we're being told in the United States, and there's a lot of different stories we're hearing, is a big degree of separation away from people who actually are having their lives threatened, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's people in your country whose lives, like you said, even in your mom's town, whose lives are being threatened. There's soldiers walking around the town who can just walk into your house, eat your food, kill you, kill your dog, just do whatever, rape your daughter. What is the end? Do you guys know what the end game is? What Putin's desire is? Is his desire to actually just remove Ukraine as a country from the map, and it's just now going to be a part of Russia? Is that his end game?
He wants to have Ukraine as a part of Russia, but a bad part. It's called like they in Russia want to call it how it's new Russia, new bad Russia, something like that. They rewrite history every time. Putin tried to don't tell how it was exactly, yes, but tell something like he think about the history. So when Kyiv was created, yes, I think you saw this meme, yes. When Kyiv was created, Russia was like the wood, like the dark forest with a lot of water, a lot of trees, and nothing was there. But now Putin tells that no, Russia was every time, and Kyiv is like something not very interesting.
I think the story they're trying to tell us in the United States is that there was a portion of Ukraine that wanted to come back to Russia. And
it's not, all people who want to come back to Russia already do it.
Right, like go move there. If you want to be there, go move there, you're saying.
Yeah, there is no restrictive moments. Yes, if you want, you can go there.
One of the stats I saw is that 150,000 Ukrainians to escape Ukraine have escaped to Russia.
Yes, I know about these numbers, but now in Russia, 80% of people say that Putin is right, because the propaganda work very good.
Right.
And
right.
Of course, some of people in the Russia, in the Ukraine, have the relatives of friends in Ukraine or in Russia. So every time if you talk about the war here, there is 1,000 of people who lost their friends. Yes, and I know many situations when uncle or some sister or brother, yes, they sit there and listen his point, and they think we kill Russian children, yes, we Nazis and so on, because it's work, and some people go in Russia. Okay, why not? It's
right.
It's a free decision. I want to Russia, I go to Russia. I want to Europe. Why I can't go to Europe and be the good person?
Right.
But there one man who's no, it's the war. We kill you. We grab your cities. We destroyed your cities, and no good life for you guys. Why is that?
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on? We have a propaganda problem in this country also. Do you see an ending to this? Do you have any thoughts on how this is going to play out?
Yeah, it was quite good. If some people in Russia have good brain, yes, and go on the streets, or I don't know, some of the Putin guys, yes, kill him, or I don't know. It's only that I know, because he is the government, yeah, and all the people is scared by him.
Yes,
that's why we can't talk about the civilization, the good point. We can't go on the I don't know, some documents or something like that, because he sit and just like, I want this, or I want that. It's not about the that point of question that can talk good people, good and smart people. It's just some kind of king, yes, who can't can have some good decisions. Yes.
I'm following. There's no law. You can't talk to him. There's no logic. He's doing whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
Can you pull up the map again, Caleb? Where did they come in from? When we look at this map, where did the ground forces come in from? Are they flying them in, or are they all coming in by vehicles? How are they getting into the Ukraine? How are they coming? Where are they crossing to get to Kiev?
You show some another map, yes, with the tactical points, I think, yes, and well, yeah, it's like that. They come from the north. There is Belarus, the good country, but also have some bad president, and they work with the Putin together. So you can see this from the north and from our annexal territories, such as Donetsk region and Lugansk region. You know, there is a terrorist and separatist who have the government, and you know this situation. Yes, I think.
And so it looks like they're coming in from everywhere.
From everywhere, yes, and from Crimea, of course. It's.
Man, what a scary. Are you scared personally?
Of course. You know, I talk with you now, but you must know that you must be prepared that at some point I will run to the shelter, because the air alarm, it's a couple times of the day, the air alarm on our city, you know.
What is the president still there? Is Zelensky still there?
Of course, yeah.
And do people like him?
Yeah, now it's the statistics that 90% of people is with him, and there is everyday fakes that he removed the country, yes, that he go away, but he filmed the video from his phone. I'm in Kiev, guys, everything fine, and we still battle with this.
Does anyone feel like they can get honest news? Is everyone skeptical?
You know, there is many news about Russian army that not too many people left. So on these days, there was killed more than 10,000 people of Russian army. So there is a hope that we don't need to kill all the Russian people, you know, to stop this war.
Wait a second. So you're saying 10,000 Russian troops have died already?
10,000. Yes, it's official statistic from our government.
And where is that happening? Is there footage of that? Are these guys are fighting? This is like artillery fighting, like on the ground artillery?
Yes, artillery and of course strike force, and from the I don't know, from the some battles in the city, but mostly I think artillery, because a lot of machines, tanks, yes, and other machines was destroyed too. So something like 300 of tanks was destroyed in this time.
This guy here is saying that 10,000 dead and 35,000 injured. How many Russian soldiers are coming into the country?
Before this war, yes, there was information that 100,000 of people staying on the border of Ukraine this time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
Caleb, what do you think about that number? I've never heard that number. Is that something that we're hearing in our media, that 10,000 Russian soldiers have died?
Yeah, I just looked it up. It looks like they're saying, I saw some like BBC or something that said like 11,000 maybe. But I mean, these are kind of rough numbers. I saw some, I know like the Kiev Independent was posting a lot of stuff saying like they're kind of giving like a running total. I mean, it might be a little biased just because it's coming from a Ukrainian news outlet. But I think it's a pretty good estimate. Like, you're not seeing a whole lot of good stuff coming from the Russian side, I guess.
Yeah, you must know that Russian side tell that no more than 500 people died. So no more.
And then,
we haven't seen any footage like that. Have you seen footage of that?
Yeah, we have something like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like he was saying, a lot of armor is getting destroyed, and those tanks or personnel carriers can, I mean, this is just an estimate, probably carry like 8 to 10 people, depending on where, like what it is. And like I just saw, I think it was like they keep changing the number, but there's like a 40-mile line of tanks and armor and personnel carriers just trying to get into Kiev or like staging.
It's in North Ukraine, and there was my mom, as you know.
And who knows how many people are in there? Like, if there's as much armor as they're saying, I mean, there needs a lot of people to man all that stuff.
Is Ukraine known for having a good military?
Yeah, it's good military after help of our partners. Yes, from Europe and other countries, from America, of course. But you know, the war don't start 10 days ago. It started when Putin come to the Crimea, yes, and to the Donetsk region. 8 years of war now, but in active phase, it's only 10 days. So all this time, Ukraine working for this. For its army, yes, and the big part of money in our budget was for army, of course, because you can't think about something else when in your country it's every time you have some part of country where fire and not stability. So
no, go ahead.
So the government was ready for this. So,
What religion are the people in the Ukraine? What's the dominant religion there?
Mostly Christians.
Oh, can you see that, Caleb? What the percentage? And what else is there? Are there Muslims there?
What?
Are there Muslims there? Are there a lot of Muslims there in Ukraine?
Muslims.
Muslims.
It's like what?
Like
say that again, Caleb.
Like Middle Eastern religion.
Yeah.
Like Arabs or
Islam. Like Iran. No.
Not too much.
No.
We have something. We have many students from Arabian Irans, yes, but mostly it's Christians.
I ask because the Ukraine has a close relationship with Azerbaijan and Turkey.
Mm-hmm,
and those are Muslim countries that have caused a lot of problem for Armenia, which is a Christian country. I don't know how big of a role religion even has in the Ukraine. Does it even have a big role? Like in my country, I wouldn't even know how to answer that if religion has a big role in the United States. Are you a church-going population? Do you go to church?
Actually, not.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm not active Christian.
Yeah. Are you an active Buddhist?
No, I'm active CrossFitter.
Active CrossFitter.
That's a religion in itself.
Have you so it is, I mean, has all business ceased in Ukraine? Like what, like is nothing normal there? Like you can't just go to the store and buy food, like you can't get a paycheck. Like how do things operate in a country where there's a war?
It depends from region. So in Odessa now it's normal situation, basically, yes, because you can go to store, you can buy some food, mostly, yes. It's some problems with meats and eggs now, but come on, it's war in our country. But if you talk about the Kyiv, if you talk about the Kharkiv, if you talk about the Mariupol, there is big problems. There is not only problems, but the city is bombed up, yes, and you see the how it called. 1 second. a food disaster. Yes, food disaster. Yes, a problem with electricity, problem with the heating. So people want to have the corridor for go away. Yeah.
So the supply line's all fucked up. People can't get food. There's not enough gas
Yeah,
for the cars.
yeah.
So there's not enough gas
We
to heat the
can
homes.
talk about some business in the country where war. Yeah, it's all people who can do something. They do something for military, for the citizens, yes, and for themselves. It's first you think about the safety, and we can't talk about the safety in any people in Ukraine. Maybe in Karpaty, that regions, yes, on the west on Ukraine.
So no one is safe there, is what you're saying.
Yep. So you sit, you watch on the telephone, you wait for the air alarm, and you go to the shelter. It's everything that we do now. And if you have some training or go on the walk, it's great. Yeah, your life is beautiful. So no one working now, especially maybe some people in the stores, yes, or volunteers, yes. Nobody can work normally.
It's bad.
Situation like that.
Do you have a car?
No.
So
it's a big problem.
Yeah, what's your plan of escape if something gets really fucking weird?
Now we have the escaping trains, but I don't know. It's not very good idea because a lot of people, if you can watch the photos where if in train you can have 100 people and there is now 300 people, yes, and you go staying, you go with disaster, you know. So I can escape only in my shelter in the basement. Yeah. By the way, I live in 21st floor. Yeah. So when I go to the shelter, it's a long cardio. And this is interesting.
Do the elevators in your building work?
Yeah, we have elevators, but if you go in by elevator and the bomb drop on your building, and you can die in that elevator. So you can choose your destiny.
Yeah. So when you hear the alarm, you run down the stairs.
Yep. I take my backpack with documents and some stuff for the first time I need. And I go to the basement and wait till this end, and only then I can walk in my flat and see, do I have the flat yet? You know.
Is the Russian government communicating with the Ukrainian people like, hey, don't worry, stay still, we're not going to kill you, we're just going to kill your president, you'll be fine? Or are they like, hey, motherfuckers, you better run, we're going to burn your shit down?
No, they tell about everything gonna be fine. The Ukrainians military destroyed you because they don't like you. You must stay safe and wait till we go to you and put you to the safe. This is the rhetoric of Russian government. Right. They think that we have the Nazi government here, yes, that we have some crazy government that want to kill us, yes, and the good angels who come and save us. Understand? So this is the problem in the head of some people, and this position is for Russian people also, because I read about 80%. No, 60%, I think, yes, that like the Putin's company.
So that's interesting. That's interesting because we're seeing, just so you know, they don't call it Nazis here, but we're seeing signs of that in this country also. Mm-hmm. We're seeing signs of it's very interesting how they present your president to us. We have a do you have any thought? Are you following what's going on in Canada?
No, you can tell me.
So they have a leader up there named Justin Trudeau.
Uh-huh.
And he has basically said that if you don't get the vaccine, you're a misogynist. That means you hate women. You're a racist. That means you think that your race is superior to other races.
Mm-hmm.
And that you're all sorts of crazy shit. I mean, their president, Canada's president, is batshit crazy. Now they are showing more and more photos, and they're showing more and more propaganda where they show your president as friends with this guy. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Our president of the United States has said similar shit. They basically think that that the people who don't get the vaccine, they're just making up these crazy stories about them. It's all around the vaccine. It's quite bizarre. And so with that, the lines are getting blurred, right? They're basically, on one hand, there's a faction. Obviously, I want to speak for most people in the United States. No matter what you think, you don't want to see Ukraine get attacked. Like, I think that, like, no matter what you think, you're like, shit, I really don't want those people to get hurt. I wish that they could just talk this shit out. Like, no one wants to see that, especially women and children who are minding their own business. But more and more, the picture is getting painted. I'm seeing that there is a weird relationship between your president and the president of Canada. I don't know. We can't tell what's true. We have no credible news source in the United States.
Guys, in these days, in 10 days, I don't remember any news from Canada. So our president, I don't know, maybe he has some phone calls from the president of Canada, but the all stuff that he doing now we see in the socials. Yes, we can read about it. So maybe it's some secret relationships, but we don't know anything about it.
Where do the accusations that Zelensky's a Nazi come from? Why even say that? Is it just completely preposterous, or is it grounded in anything?
No, there is no points to logic about that. It's not only Zelensky is Nazi. Yes, there is a point from previous president also that he Nazi, and so this comes from our history. We have some leader. His last name is Bandera, yes, and he was not too much, yes, but he was on World War II, yes. He has soldiers who was like a little bit with Germany first month, I think, or something like that. Then they think that it's a bad idea, yes, they see a bad decision from these relationships, yes, and that's all. But from that was a little point that Russia government take and think that all the people of Ukraine after that must be the Nazi, or all the government of Ukraine must be the Nazi.
Is Zelensky Jewish? This is what this email says. Yeah. Classic. Thank you.
Yeah, it's neo-Nazi.
You know what's amazing too? I read this book called Ravenous, and Hitler's goal was to kill, at least from this book I read, was to kill all the people in the Ukraine and turn it into a giant organic food farm. He thought that the Ukraine would be the perfect place to grow food. And he was terrified of the country's health and how it was in decay, even in the 30s. And he believed that organic food was the way. So it's kind of, man, everything's so fucked up and nothing makes any sense.
Yep, like that. But we have a good ground without our bodies on dying bodies, for food. There is a lot of good ground in Ukraine for good food like that.
I do want to answer this, Edop. You said Nazi can't be Jewish. That you think that because of the conventional wisdom. How could a Nazi be Jewish? But in this country, we have a massive campaign of people who claim to be anti-racist, but in actuality, they're bolstering the mindset of racism. They enforce racism. They demand racism exists in order to substantiate their fight against it. Even where it's not, they find it. And it's a really big problem in this country. We live in a bizarro world now. I hear you. I want to agree with you and say a Nazi can't be Jewish, but anything's possible now. The most racist people in this country, the people who claim to love black people the most in this country are the ones who are actually doing the worst things to black people. It's maddening.
It's all that the big problem that America have now. It's the echo of the past. Yes.
The what of the past? The echoes of the past.
Echoes. Yes. And it's really without logic, but this is the world we live in now.
Yes, there is no logic. You're right. When you see these letters, are these Russian letters? Are these people from Russia writing this? This lady here.
This is people from Ukraine.
Ukraine. Okay, yes. Sorry. So they dropped a bomb to Babin Yar. It's Holocaust Memorial Place. Who are fascists?
Yeah,
wow.
It's the place where millions of people dying in the World War II times.
The Russians bombed that place, the memorial.
In the past, yes, there was a Holocaust, yes, and nowadays in that place, Russia dropped their bombs. That was a couple days ago. So they killed that people twice,
So yeah, it's good.
And this is horrible.
It is horrible.
Yep.
Yevhenni, you're saying that 60% of the people in Russia that sounds like the Russian society is split. 60% of the people are buying the propaganda.
Yeah, you can say that they split, but the problem is that they don't want to know anything. Yes, they live just this life. I don't know how to say, but you go to the work, yes, you come back home, you have some fun with the drinks, yes, and you go to the work, back home, and this, like this, like this, like this. You be fun about the money you have for the food, yes, and a little bit for the clothes you have, and maybe one time in a year you can go to the some vacation, and that's all. And you watch TV, yes, where the voice say that everything's fine, that Ukraine is Nazi, yes, the USA is the main warrior, yes, and USA support Ukraine, that we must kill Ukrainians because USA come to us and kill us. Yeah, and you live in this life, and of course you be support. So I don't know the truly percent, yes, but many people in Russia don't have any internet. So you can watch only the TV, only that news that gave you the government. Understand? So you can see the another point.
Right.
So how can you think different?
I agree with you. My thought.
Yes, main today or yesterday we have the news that Facebook is banned in Russia. Twitter is banned in Russia. There is a problem with TikTok because the new laws in Russia is not good with the TikTok policy, So all people who have internet now don't have any news, and they have the law about the fake about war. So if you tell any information about war and government thinks that it's fake, so you can have a 15 years of colony in Russia.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Yevhenni, give me 1 second. I have to pee. Do you have to pee?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, we're taking a pee break. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
This is my third podcast today. Bear with me.
Yeah, I saw something.
So have you been able to work out at all, or are you pretty much, how are you staying busy?
First 2 days I'm just was in So I lie on the floor and do anything because I was shocked. That news that we must go and take some food. We don't know, do we have food after that? And then on the phone with my relatives all the time, yes, and I do anything. Then I try to create some workouts, try to build some motivation in my classes, because I have a lot of people who train with me, and that people live not only in Ukraine, and I give myself in the good point and start do something. And now, yes, I try to train every day, and sometimes 2 times a day. But this is a short workout, and it's workout before air alarm. So there was several times. So I just finish my warm up and must go to the shelter. So
how
like
far
that.
is that for you?
It's in my house, but in basement. So 24th floor, you go down, yes, and you there.
It's a lot of
Wait,
stairs.
you sleep there at night?
In shelter, no.
How often do you go? How many times have you been down
I
there?
sleep in my bed, but with the telephone in my hand and wait for the signal from the street, maybe. But I can every time hear the signal from the street. But on the application on the telephone, yes, I see the signal and I go away. But this is, guys, this is a good life, because people in Kiev, 1 million people in Kiev, more than 1 million people in Kiev, they have night in the underground, yes, in the metro.
Oh, that's where they go to sleep.
Not only sleep, they live there now, because the situation is terrible. Every time the bomb drops on the city, you can read this comment, yes. And my father in Kiev also, every time he hear, but in Odessa I have 2 air alarm today. In Kiev there's 10, 20 alarms, yes, the alarm every half of the hour, yes, and every time you must finish all your business and go down, come back, you can have another air alarm. So you can't build a normal life in this situation.
This Rima Savchuk is saying there's no news other than local propaganda. All international channels are banned now. That's in Russia?
Yep. It's true story. Our informational guys try to build some videos for Russian people, some commercial, yes, in the social media, but now it's all banned. So you can know nothing about the war in Ukraine. Stop. In Russia, they don't say war in Ukraine. They say the special operation. You can't say war in Ukraine, because you have the guys that knock in your doors and you have problem. So this is fucked up, you know.
I'll tell you a story that I had this morning. This morning I sent a video to a friend of mine who is he's a math teacher. You're not going to like this story, Yevhenni. Sorry. He's a math teacher, right? He's a numbers guy. 2 + 2 is 4. 10 - 5 is 5. So I sent him a video that showed the CEO, that's the chief executive officer of Pfizer, saying that the 2 shots barely work, if at all. He made $38 billion off of these 2 shots, spreading them all over the world. And now he's saying they hardly work, if at all. Then I sent him another video of the head of the United States of America, CDC. That is our Center for Disease Control. That makes all of our policies around COVID, more or less. And then passes them on to our leaders, and our leaders then make decisions for us. She admits today on TV that she got her information from CNN regarding the 95% efficacy, the quality of the vaccine, and that they were really hoping that it was true because they just wanted this to be over.
Yeah.
So our disease control is admitting they got the news, the information from our news channel, and the guy who owns the company is saying that it doesn't work, if at all. And yet, but I show that to my friend who's a math teacher, and he says, "Oh, do you believe in global warming?" Like, he wants to try to trick me. He wants to like try to come up with these other things that I might think are crazy instead of just look at the numbers or look what these people said. So part of me is like, when you say that your group, and I sent it to my parents too, and there's no response, and it's like, I can't think of two higher authorities, right? So when you say the Russians don't have Facebook anymore, I'm wondering, like, I can't tell if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, I don't even know if you can. I can hold a picture of a rabbit in front of these people and tell them it's a shark, and they think it's a shark, even though their own eyes see it's a rabbit. I don't know what the solution is. And especially no one's life is being threatened like your life. Your life is being threatened. We're just over here, just like, it
doesn't matter have you Facebook or not, but you must have a choice.
Yes.
If I want, I go on Facebook and read all the shit that's posted there, and if I don't want, I don't go. But if government say ban, it's bad.
Are there are there people coming from other countries to fight?
Yeah, we have totally more than 15,000 people from another countries. It's from America also, from Georgia, from European countries, yes. And by the way, we talk about 1.5 million that go away from Ukraine, but 120,000, if I'm not mistaken, come back to Ukraine. It's the men who want to take the weapon and protect the country.
Yeah, so they're showing us pictures of famous Ukrainians in the United States, like Lomachenko and the two heavyweight boxing brothers, and then this other boxing. They're showing us people who are leaving their safe places in Europe and coming to Ukraine to fight. These are very rich men too.
Yeah. By the way, I read maybe an hour ago about Trump want to go to Ukraine. I don't know if it's fake or not, but we read something like that today.
It is interesting that this guy Trump had such bad publicity in the United States, and yet the United States was never safer. You know, one of the first things our current president did is Trump was building a pipeline that would, and the first thing the current president did is he stopped the production of that pipeline. And it's now, it's like, in hindsight, it's like, holy shit, that was a major mistake. And I don't know if you saw, even Elon Musk is now demanding, he sent a message basically to the president and to all the leaders. You know, he doesn't like oil and gas. He's saying we must dig up more oil and gas.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I'm looking, I looked up Trump. Trump wants to put China's flag on jets to bomb the shit out of Russia. I'm just reading headlines. I don't know. Wow, what a mess. So earlier I asked you if there is an end in sight. There is no end in sight. There is, like, no one knows basically. Yes.
It's
total uncertainty. It's total uncertainty.
Certainly, and if nobody close the sky on Ukraine, yes, I think our cities is continue to blow up and create a mess. Because I told early about the problems with the food, with the electricity and heating in the big cities in Ukraine, such as Mariupol, such as Sumy, Chernihiv, and Irpin is a city near Kyiv. Yes, and a lot of people need shelter to not dying from cold, you know, and need some food. And the terrorists there, I can't tell that this is a military, because military is not doing like that. they talk about the corridor that they give for evacuation. Yes,
the corridor. You mean the supply chain? The supply chain corridor.
The green zone when you can go away from the city. Yes, and evacuating yourself. Yes, and they give green light. Yes, the Ukrainian side go there with the buses, and then these guys start to shooting this. Yes, start the killing people. So 2 times was the situation when they give green corridor and then start their business again. So you can talk about finish of this. The terrorist is walking around the streets in Ukraine. Yeah, the bomb every time crush our buildings.
Someone brings up
Zelensky screaming for help, and we all screaming for help because I don't think that little Ukraine, not very little, yes, but if you see the big map where Russia and Ukraine situated near, yes, you can see how big is Russia and how little is Ukraine, and now Ukrainian warriors, yes, protect all Europe from this crazy guy, yeah, and we want to support, and all world is waiting for this because it's reasonable, yes. We don't need a third war with the nuclear bombs and finish all this stuff. Yes, we want to live, but we must do something with that crazy guy in the Kremlin. But he don't sit in the Kremlin now. He in the basement, and I think he's scared, very scared. But we must finish this because we can't live normally without this. Today he bombed up Ukraine, and in next day it must be some European country. There is a Poland who say that they can give us airplanes, yes, but he want to airplanes from NATO to protect themselves from Putin. They tell like this,
He's basically, someone is saying this, and this is the effect we get too, that he's threatening the world with World War III and nuclear bombs. That's the implication. If anyone comes in and intervenes, if anyone helps Ukraine, it's going to be World War III.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is true, but I feel like I've noticed that the people who are supporting Putin are like the ones who have historically been supporting Putin are having a hard time supporting him right now. Like I've seen it where like the Chinese especially, they're kind of staying neutral in regards to whether or not they agree with what he's doing. And so I don't think he's kind of just going off on a limb trying to start something, and then.
But the problem is that all the countries waiting and see what's next. Yes.
Right.
But we must do something. And China's, of course, they quiet now. I don't know why.
Yeah, it was concerning at first because I saw they were flying over Taiwan, and I know they've been, for decades they've been trying to get a land grab back with Taiwan, but ever since then it's been pretty much radio silence.
Yevhenni, that's another thing they are telling us, in our news, that basically Putin and China are working together, and that basically that the goal is distract Putin. You take Ukraine, and China will take Taiwan, and everyone will freak out, and they won't be able to do anything. But we're like you said, everyone's just frozen, watching to see what happens.
There is another point when we start to kill Russian army. The guys tell that Moldova can take away Pridnestrovia, that other guys can take their territory from Russia. Yeah, this is a talk talk in the process, when something happens, and you can do something in this position.
Let me. Can you pull up that map again? You're saying that other portions of Russia that want to break away now could be their chance to try to break away, while Russia's having to deal with Ukraine?
You know about the other conflicts and wars from Russia in the Georgia, yes, is Ossetia and Abkhazia in Georgia. It's like a republic, but with the Russia government. Pridnestrovia is near to the Ukraine in Moldova. Yes, and a bunch of other territories that historically it was in the other country, but now Russia talk only about Crimea, that it was Russian, but many territories on other country was in the other country by the history.
When I was a kid, Armenia was part of Russia. It was called the USSR. Yeah.
But it's not a reason to start terrible war with the terrorism in the 21st century. Yeah, where all the war may finish with only one push, on the button, red button.
Man, there's some interesting comments down here. I have a feeling that everyone is getting their own benefits out of this war, and Ukraine is just a field for that. It's quite possibly true.
Yeah, every war is the money for somebody. Always.
Yeah. This is a totally off the side question. During all of this time, is there anything that is there any fun in your life? Is there anything you're doing for fun? Like, do you have a girlfriend? Do you get to go for walks? Are you smoking a ton of weed? Like what do you do? What do you do?
Look, I have a girlfriend, but all I want now to save her from these events in my country. So I try to find some point where I can save her. Yes, we have walking around Odessa, yes, but we walk into the groceries because we need food, and we need food for next week, yes, maybe next month. I don't know how long I can sit in the shelter. So you'll think about it all the time. We can watch some stuff on YouTube, yes, and maybe have some fun, but you every time you think about the air signals, you think about your relatives, about parents who in the other city, and they have their own air alarm, yes, and I don't know they live, don't live that, yes, and it's terrible. I can train, I can work. By the way, it's workout maybe something that I can do and close my mind, yes, and focus on that stuff and I do. But then I remember that I can't be on my sport club, yes, and do 21.2, yes, with all the walls. But I can do this now, and you think about it too. So there is no stuff. I have not a bunch of marijuana, yes, it's bad maybe if I had, yes, to relax myself. But there is no stuff that relaxes me totally now. If you go to sleep, you sleep with the telephone in your hand, yes. And
why aren't you, Yevhenni? Why aren't you posting on your Instagram? What's I noticed you've stopped. Why aren't you posting like what's going on there on your Instagram? Posting, okay, this happened today. Today we heard this air siren, or record the air sirens. Why aren't you using your platform to sort of show the world what's going on in Odessa?
I try to do this, but if you look today, I start day from the Serena, yes. When we cooking our food, we go to the shelter, then come back, have some eat, go to the groceries, yes, come back. I prepared for this meeting with you, yes, and every time you have something to do, you must call your friends, call your parents, yes, and I try to post something, yes, but I have my own war with CrossFit, yes, for the ban Russian athletes, because I think it's terrible when all companies ban Russia, and CrossFit tell, okay, guys, be in competition but without flags. It's I think it's funny. Yes, for us it's like a joke or what. And when you don't see the results of what I'm doing, yes, my hands is going down.
Your what is going down?
My hands goes down when I do something and I can't see result. Hands go down.
So tell me about this war with CrossFit. Tell me about this. So I saw that CrossFit banned the athletes from carrying their flags. Is that something that they just learned from the Olympics? Did the Olympics? I recall that the Olympics let the Russian athletes at some point. They got in trouble for drugs or something. They were still allowed to compete, but they weren't allowed to use their flag. And is CrossFit doing something similar to that? You can still compete in the games, but you can't represent your country.
Yeah, it's something like that. You can compete, but in the profile of CrossFit Games, you don't have a flag and just a white line there. But it is not only why we're talking only from Olympians. We have the football association. Yes, FIFA banned Russian. We have the volleyball, skiing, basketball, dancing, and them. There is a lot of organizations who ban Russian athletes, and this is maybe it's not good in the 100%, but they must do something. They must go on the streets and tell their government that they do wrong to start the war. And I think it's the reason why all the countries start to do like this. They not only banned Russia to don't have money to go with the war. Yes, they do it for the people too, because if something like that happened, you must think what my government do to prevent this situation. Maybe something wrong. Maybe I must go and take away these guys from their chairs. Yes.
I shouldn't be allowed to have an opinion on it because I'm sitting in my home here in California and I live this fucking crazy dream life. So
maybe you don't have the bomb on your window, you know.
For sure.
And this is fine, you know. If you don't have a position, I don't have a position before that. Yes, I train people. Yes, I have fun. I learn something new. I want to travel and have fun with that. Yes. I don't interest in politics till the politic interesting me.
Right. Yeah, I'm seeing that. Well, it's funny you say that because like I don't give a fuck about vaccines until the fact that I have kids. And now you're trying to inject my kids with shit and I see other kids dying or getting hurt. And now all of a sudden I give a shit. But let me ask you this. Bear with me. I want to try to see.
By the way, about the COVID, you
about
don't need to about the COVID, about the vaccine. Yeah, you don't need to think about the COVID when you have war. So we don't have COVID now.
Exactly.
Lucky you. Right.
And it's happening it's not just you guys.
This problem is not for Ukrainians. Right. And I think Russia don't think about it too.
Hey, just so you know, they don't give a fuck about it in the U.S. either. We've had our borders open with Mexico and hundreds of thousands of people coming in who aren't getting COVID tested. Anyone who's ever been to India or to Africa knows that they're not able to deal with it either, or because India has a fucking 1.7 billion people. And they got way bigger fish to fry than COVID. I cannot believe that Americans are so fucking clueless. I have a friend who was raised in the Ukraine. He met an American girl and married her, and they went and opened a gym in Afghanistan. It was the only gym. He's a hardcore Christian. It's the only gym in Afghanistan. It was that was a non-military gym in Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. The only CrossFit non-military. And he said, and I'm paraphrasing. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but basically, he's a very loving, beautiful man. These are my words, not his. But how pathetic it is in the United States, because where he comes from, Ukraine, you would be so thankful for being able to just go out and get a job anytime, anywhere you wanted, any of this shit. And you come here to fucking America and people are complaining that they can't get the job they want. And you have to, you don't have to, but unfortunately, if you don't live in the United States, you cannot imagine how soft the vast majority of us are. You cannot imagine how soft we are. We are so soft, and we're so clueless of how the levels of what's important in other parts of the world. That being said, I want to get to this thing. I want to get to why. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the Ukrainians, like, you're asking a company like CrossFit, if they're to say we're going to ban all Russian athletes, to make an assessment on Russia that what they're doing is wrong. Correct?
Yep.
Or is it enough to just say, hey, CrossFit Inc. will not support any country that kills other people? Like how do they assess that Russia's doing something wrong? And because that's the whole problem we have in the US right now. There's people making the decisions to try to help people, and they're just hurting people.
Yeah, there is no true point, you know, because is it right when Russian athletes can performing, yes, can have fun from open, but in this time, their soldiers, yes, killing our people, our athletes, our coaches must take a weapon, yes, and go protect their land, yes, and this is some point when we must ask what right to do. Yes, I think it's not good because many of CrossFit athletes is the militaries. Yeah, it's normally when our coaches too, yes, our affiliates help to organize the military competitions. Yes, many athletes is the militaries. Yes, so they have. They work with the militaries, and they have no, one moment. They have attitude to this. And
they have what? Say that word again.
Attitude.
Attitude, yeah. Did you just look that up really quick? Did you look that up?
Yeah, I try to be.
You're damn good. You're good. Yevhenni, you're good. That was fast. Okay.
Yeah,
the right
and
attitude,
they must take the responsibility for this, of course, because it's not a good situation when I know the biggest affiliate in Ukraine, CrossFit Banda Arena, it's 1,500 meters of CrossFit, yes. And the manager of this affiliate must go with the volunteers, yes, must take food and go to the old people, and all coaches must be in the territorial soldiers or something like that, yes. Many athletes go on the shelters and sit there, and the seasons for Ukrainian athletes is over, you know, and that's all. And maybe not only season, I don't know, can I go on the work after that? Yes. Have I dream after that? Yes. Maybe next bomb is blow up my gym. It's the situation where we have no future before that. And the people on the other side just go to the regular basis and have fun, and they quiet, you know, they quiet in this situation, because all this time, all our history of the CrossFit in Ukraine, yeah, the Russian community is help us. So we every time we have the coaches who come from the Russia and teach our coaches, yes. We have some seminars on that. We have the competitions in Ukraine, yes, or in Russia. We go on this competition, and now they just quiet. It's not normal situation. You can't just be with your girl, well, not on your girl, be with your friends every time, yes, and in one time you just ban him, yes, and sit quiet and don't realize that maybe he dying, yes, maybe he want the help, maybe he asked the help. We already asked the help. We spoke to these people and asked him, what are you doing, guys? Maybe we must talk about it. And there is quiet, only quiet, you know?
I hear you. I hear you. Right.
So, of course, there is no one point, but what I must do? I must protect and have my own war now, because when it's finished, I don't know. Can I be the CrossFit coach or not? Or CrossFit don't need more in Ukraine? Because do we need the buy courses? Yes, become the CrossFit level 1, level 2 coach. Yes, for the company who just fucked up on our interest. Yes, or like that. Understand? Yes.
Yeah. I totally hear you. So if I guess the thought, and tell me if I'm right. I guess the thought is this: if let's use Apple computers for example. I don't know if this is true, but I heard Apple is not supporting Russia anymore.
Yeah, there is a lot of memes now about that, and the couple of iPhones that they have now, they just like a gold on this price in Russia.
So because they're not selling them anymore there.
Yep, of course.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to go to the store and buy 20 and sell them on the Russian black market. Thank you for the idea.
Good business.
Yeah.
Don't forget that nobody can buy it for that price, of course.
Right.
Because Russia can use Visa, MasterCard, can use SWIFT now.
It's all shut down. All of those things are shut down.
Yep, it's all happened now. So we have the globally community, yes, who support this, who don't like this, and we have CrossFit who say, okay, be without flags, and that's normally. But you know what? Even if athletes go on the games, they can't go from Russia because no airplanes. They can go on the horse, of course, yeah, on the horse, but they can't go to the USA.
Can you, hey Caleb, will you look that up real quick and see if there's any flights out of Moscow today?
Yeah. It's an interesting situation.
So the implication is that these businesses apply pressure to the Russian people. The Russian people get upset, and then they in turn put pressure on the Russian government, and the war stops. Is that the logic?
This is a very little part of the logic, because all the business in Russia, yes, it's sponsored war that happened now and killing people. So if you don't sponsor this business, you don't help this business. You can sponsor the war. Russia have no money. Russia can do more war. Like that.
So basically,
another part of logic.
So
they're
bombing.
Not only. Yes, tell.
They're bombing your infrastructure. They're scaring your people, and it's crippling Ukraine. So since we're not going to bomb Russia, we're going to cripple Ukraine by scaring its people by slowing down their business element. Basically, it's an attack on their business. So that they in turn have to worry about their own issues and will get the fuck off of Ukraine's back.
Yep.
I'm just trying to paint the most simple. Okay. Yeah. It's. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble seeing it. The reason why, I guess, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, the reason why I'm having so much trouble seeing it is that I don't trust that I know. Holy shit. Those are the tickets. Let me see that again. Those are the tickets out of Ukraine. It's $6,000 to fly out of there.
No, you can't find the tickets from Ukraine. There is no.
Or out of Russia. Sorry.
prizes for Russia.
What is this bullshit? This emissions thing, CO2 emissions. Go fuck yourself. Oh my God, what has happened to this planet? These people.
Global warming, Sevan. It's important.
This is fast. So look, what do you think? Are these are flights out of Russia now?
Yeah.
So no one can even afford to leave there.
That's probably why they're so expensive.
You can look at situation now. They can't leave Russia. They have no internet. They have no international businesses here. And there is one man who is happy about that because he can close all this stuff and do whatever he wants.
And that's Putin.
His name is Putin, of course. So I think he is happy now, mostly.
There's this. It makes perfect sense that we should do whatever we can to stop murder.
Yes,
it makes perfect sense.
That's the point, because it's not only our problem now, the Ukrainian problem, because all the Europe was on the oil from naphtha from Russia, yes, yeah, and now they try to go away this because this situation, yes, because Putin just can chantage all the countries that he have economical inflammation of that, yes. So they just want to finish all the business with Russia, and this is logical point, I think.
It's also different for me now that I'm seeing you. Go ahead.
I just now my girlfriend showed me the news about that Canada can give the airplanes to Ukraine. So
they can
not give the airplane. So you can think about the Zelensky and Canada president relationships. Yes, so it's not true.
Some guy from, I don't know what country that is. He says this is the best YouTube channel ever. I threw in ever. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the money is QAR.
Qatari Rial.
Oh, I bet you that's like, I'm rich now. Money from Qatar. That's like oil money. I bet you that's like $12 billion.
Or 13.
It's interesting also right now to be staring at you on a screen, Yevhenni, because now the shit's real for me. You know what I mean? It's like the implications that I'm staring at a guy who's sitting in a kitchen in Ukraine is bizarre to me. I mean,
yeah,
it's a go ahead.
You can watch me without lights. Yes, this is Christmas girland because we shut down the windows and there is no lights in the city because of airplanes bomb attack like this. So
that's like British. It's like Great Britain in World War II. That's insane. Like you have completely blacked out your shades and
mostly
prevent anybody from seeing that anybody's home.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like this. We had a commanding how it called second.
Yevhenni, is there anyone, like, if you went down to the beach, it's winter there, I guess, right? It's too cold to go to the beach right now.
Yeah, of course.
Is there anyone like
I like to swim in cold water, but it's not
too cold.
Not now.
Is there anyone living their life normal there? Like, is there any like do you guys have like if there was a war here, I think the homeless people would just live their life normal. No. Like the drug. How about do you have drug addicts in your country?
I think yes.
Is it a problem? Like in the United States, it's a huge problem. They're everywhere. They're like ants. And I
think it's a problem. But when you have a war, no problem is such a big like a war. You know, even people who go away, this 1.5 million, they sit there and they feel pain about their country. They post information. Yes, they talk with us, with their friends who left there, and this is tragedy. You know, this is a black part of the history of Ukraine, and I think not only in Ukraine.
I wasn't, just so you know, I wasn't making any implication that the people who left were bad.
Of course. It's
not at all.
You know, if I have opportunity, I think I go away also, because it's normally you want to be safe and keep safe your family. It's not scary. It's normal situation.
Yeah.
If I can take the weapon and go kill somebody, I go, but I never hold the weapon in my hand. What can I help to my army? I'm just can sit in the Facebook or Instagram, yes, and post something and ban the fake accounts from Russia and give some information to people who don't see this. Maybe somebody from my my Instagram, yes, see some information that he don't see before. Yeah, it's all that I can talk with my IT friends, yes, who do some DDoS attack for Russian sites. Yes, maybe you hear about the anonymous who broke the sites in Russia. Yeah, no, we don't, not anonymous, but we do something like that. So every people who can do something, do it. Yes, this is volunteers, militarists, I don't know, maybe some money, but we all help each other, and that's why Putin don't block us, because when he come, he think he take Kiev in 2 days. Yes, today is 11 or 12 day. I just don't know what the day today, because it's all like one day, the circuit. And we can't talk about normal life now.
No, of course,
just before war is over. It's all about this.
I was just wondering what happens to the drug addicts when they can't get their supply. Let me ask you this: what other companies are not? You have companies like Apple that are participating full steam ahead and leveraging whatever power they have to I guess reduce the deaths of Ukrainians. What other companies are not participating, like CrossFit? What other companies
not participating?
Like basically CrossFit is not participating.
No. I heard something about the Coca-Cola. I think, yes, there is a couple other company, but this is so little part, I can't remember. IKEA go away, yes. All the clothes stuff go away. Something like Zara, Balenciaga, and all the stuff go away from Russia. And there is only a couple of companies. I don't know this. Don't look at that. No.
This lady is saying that Coca-Cola is out now. What is CrossFit's response to you when you write to them, or do you have a country manager? I think all the countries have country managers. Does Ukraine have a country manager?
There is interesting situation, because
is it Daniel Chafee? Is Daniel Chafee your country manager?
No. There is not too much affiliate in Ukraine. We have only 8 affiliates now.
Okay.
We had more, but now this is the situation. And other country in Europe, little country, don't have too much affiliates. And that's why our regional manager is from Russia. It's Dmitry Andryukhin. Yes. So all I know, in the first day, he write to our official translator in Ukraine. He asked, Netflix left today. He asked just about some help, but what help can he get? And that's all. So that was a talk with the regional manager. So
no one has addressed your the demands of the Ukrainian affiliates to be like, yo, you got to put more. We want CrossFit to leverage all of its power, financial power it has, over like these other
no,
companies.
I don't think about that. I don't want to all the financial power of CrossFit to help my country. It's,
I didn't word that right. I don't mean CrossFit's financial power. I mean CrossFit's the same way Coca-Cola is doing it. You would like the Ukrainian affiliates would like CrossFit to leverage whatever power they have over Russia to do it. And one of those aspects would be to not let the athletes from Russia participate in the CrossFit Games.
Right.
That's what you're asking. Yes. That's what I meant.
That's what we think. And if we don't think like that, yes, we don't communicate with you because of that, because a lot of stories about that, because of the open when the Ukrainian athletes post the fake videos with the scenes of battles, yes, and
I like that, by the way. That was really cool. That was cool. I like that. Yeah.
That was our voice, and that's because that's why we talk with you now, because we are power. Together we're power. When we do something together, we can do something, and we can quit. We must do something, and that's why this happens.
This person has a question. So wait, before we move on from there. But you're not getting a response from CrossFit yet.
No.
Okay.
Not only there is more people who there is more people who write the letter to CrossFit. Yes, in the different mails. Yeah. And nobody have response to that.
This Peter Benoit says, how can CrossFitters help CrossFitters in Ukraine?
It's a good question. You can help as you can. You can help our army. You can help our affiliates after this all is over. Yes, I don't know. Do we have affiliate after that? But I hope so. Yes. And you can talk about it. You can talk about terrible things, about all the stuff that do our athletes and coaches now. Yes, they don't do their work. They do that they must do in the wartime.
I want to answer a question here. Don't want to run away from answering this question. So we would like to hear what you think and what your people think about it. If you do so, I know many Americans don't know where Ukraine is. Yeah. So
many Americans think that Ukraine and Russia is the same. Yes, and what the war, they don't understand. Yes.
You have to understand that we live, like the United States is in very, very bad shape psychologically right now. We have a very, very bizarre situation here. I cannot emphasize to you how bizarre it is. We basically just had our society, and you don't also understand if you don't live here, or if you do live here and you haven't traveled a lot, how soft and weak our society is. We are so spoiled that we have the opportunity to we have crazy opportunities here that have made us lose touch with reality, is basically what it comes down to sum it up. And you're right. I would guess that most Americans don't even know where Ukraine is, or they think it's a city inside of Russia, et cetera, et cetera. They have no fucking clue, nor do they care. I think most people are still they would be more upset if McDonald's, we would have more of an uprise in this country if McDonald's were to change its menu, if they were to get rid of the Big Mac.
By the way, McDonald's go away from Ukraine after the war starts. Not too many countries go away, but McDonald's closed its restaurants.
It's funny you say that. Someone said, I saw a meme this morning, I think I reposted it. It says, Facebook left Ukraine, McDonald's left Ukraine, CNN left it said Facebook left Russia, McDonald's left Russia, CNN left Russia.
And another time you mistake this, yes? Another time you you say that Ukraine is Russia.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Speaking of dumb Americans, and it said soon Russia will be the only normal country on the planet, meaning that these people. It's ironic that these people are leaving Russia when they really are at the source, the problem in the United States. But I understand the paradox, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. You know, for the last 2 or 3 years, longer, for a long time, there is a country that's adjacent to Armenia called Azerbaijan, and they are a very oil-rich country, and they have been causing a lot of problems for Armenians, and they've been killing a lot of Armenians. And Azerbaijan gets a shit ton of its fucking military resources from the Ukraine. And I am Armenian. And my people have been slaughtered and mass genocide in that region. And the whole reason why I'm alive today is because my family escaped those regions during the wars when the Turkish people were fucking assassinating the Armenians, and they fled to the United States. And that's the only reason why I'm alive. I'm so fucking lucky to be alive. And both my mom and my dad are Armenian. And so when I hear it, but also on some other level, I know I'm not Armenian. I know I'm not Sevan. I know I'm just a fucking ray of light that comes down from the heavens that has an opportunity to walk on this planet. So where do I want to draw the line? And of course, under no circumstance, and every single, to be completely honest, every single Ukrainian person I've ever met in my whole entire life, I have a kinship with. I think that there's same with like the Serbians. Just there's so many people over there. We're just a different breed. If you come from that kind of what we call the old country, I recognize their culture, their camaraderie, their love for one another. They're not pussy Americans, especially the men. The men are great. And I love America. I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I just want to see change. But so it's interesting to me. And then Azerbaijan recently took back a huge chunk of land that Armenia had, and the Ukrainian government, Zelensky, called the Azerbaijani president and congratulated him. Good job on getting the land back. And so I'm thinking, as I think this, you know, my mom sends me a letter right away saying to me, hey, you need to send money to, my mom sends me an email and says, you need to send money. This is like 3 days ago. You need to send money to Ukraine for the people there. And I just think, I don't know where I stand on the issue. As I stare at you right now, Yevhenni, through the camera, fucking like I want there to be complete peace, right? I don't want you to be hurt. I want you to be able to get your life back. I want those fucking Russians to get the fuck out of there. But I can't tell. I guess each situation has to be looked at individually. There's no part of me, to answer your question, Rima, that's like, hey, I think what's going on there is good. Not even a little bit. Not even fucking one tiny bit. So, I just know that it's a fucking tough world, and that I don't think Americans have any idea how tough it is. There's the poorest people in the United States now have more access to goods and quality of goods than the richest people did 50 years ago, right?
Yep.
And so it's yeah, I don't know. I'm still forming my opinion. I don't have a strong, I just know that no one should be being killed. No one should have to live in their no one should have to be worrying about Russian troops coming in and raping their moms or bombing their buildings or cutting off their supply lines. It just doesn't. There's nowhere that they're saying, oh, like if there was something really bad happening, like we all know Nazi Germany had to be stopped. Like that place had to be bombed. If what they tell us in the history books is true, which I believe, that they were rounding up Jews and burning them in ovens, you have to fucking stop that country, right? But I don't know anything. Yep. I don't know one single bad thing that's happening in the Ukraine that would require anyone to go in there with the fucking the planet's second largest army and fucking attack these people. I haven't heard one bad thing that's happening there. Right?
Yep.
Right? So I hope that helps, Rima. Yevhenni, would you be willing to talk to me next Sunday too at this exact same time?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. But I don't know your position about the CrossFit question. Yeah.
Oh,
What you think CrossFit
yes.
must do in this situation?
I don't know, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I really want to side with you, like for so many reasons. But here's the reason why: when business gets involved in government, we have a fucking huge problem. That's what happened. That's the fall of the United States right now. We let business get involved in government. And so that's where I'm having, it's like this. We have the same talk all the time, Yevhenni, about abortion. I think abortion is so fucking wrong. I'm against it 100%. But I don't think the government should tell women what to do with their bodies.
Yep.
And so I'm fucked because it sets precedent. And now all of a sudden people will be telling me what to do with my body. So I'm like, I'm torn. I'm torn. You know, this company, Apple, I use their phone. I love their products. All my shit is Apple. But they also push an agenda in the United States around gender. And there's no such thing as gender. It would be like if I told you there was Puff the Magic Dragon here, right? And it's sort of it's kind of the part of the downfalls of civilization in the United States, that people are pushing these ideas that aren't real. There's sex. There's not gender. Don't push it on me like it's real. You can have it. And so your situation is real. People are dying in the fucking Ukraine, and you want fucking CrossFit to be like, yo, what the fuck? Look at all these other people. But I'm just torn. I'm open for you to be like, hey, you're a fucking idiot too, by the way. Like I'm just, but I did you see that look on his face?
I think he told you without telling you.
Yeah. I'm not against it to the point. Like, I would love to have you back on the platform and unfuck me, like convince me. Like I'm like Sevan, what's wrong with you? Why can't you just say this? People are dying here.
I feel like it's difficult also because Russia puts all of their athletes in business, basically. Like it's like their athletes are business people, and they're also, it's like a business with their sport, but they're also political proponents, essentially. So it's difficult to be like, oh, well, let's separate the two, and then we can reconvene, or we can come to a decision. But it's not that way.
I can't believe that they're not actually doing it, to tell you the truth. This is like so up their alley. I can't believe that they're not on board. I'm actually quite confused. Are you not going to talk to me anymore, Yevhenni? You're mad at me?
His headphones might have died. Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't. We can hear you.
Hello?
Hey. Oh, maybe his headphones died. Oh.
No, something like that, yes.
Why?
I hear you from the telephone.
Okay. Did you hear anything of what I said?
Not to the end.
Okay. I mean, basically, I'm open to you unfucking me. I'm surprised I'm actually very surprised CrossFit is not supporting this. It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense for them, for the way I see that they think and the way they look at the world, to support you.
The FAA has done it. Like they're.
Oh, this is his Instagram right here, guys. That's how you can follow him, by the way. Can you still
By the way, there was a commentator who said that North America never see the war. I think it's a point. Because in Europe, we have two world war and a couple of conflicts that can be also war. And now we have this situation. So my grandparents, was close to the war, to the Second World War. My father, when he was in the army, there was a conflict in Afghanistan, I think, and the Chechnya. It's also all about Russia, and we all the time we know the horrible of war,
and
Yeah.
you say, and you see it there, and you tell me that this is fucking horrible. But how many you know about that?
I'm with you.
Now,
I
so
hear you.
I don't know. 8 years, I don't know what is the war. I heard about it. Yes, the Crimea is over. The Donetsk is some military conflict there. Yes, but you don't even know what is war before the war is coming to your home. Yes, before the war is coming to your friends. You know.
You only see it through Instagram or Facebook and news. You don't understand it until it's at your doorstep.
Take a week and educate yourself and answer the question. The thing is, Eric, is it's more than education. It's more than education. There's got to be an emotional component, and there has to be a wisdom component. And I think that's where things get a little. I think that's where things are getting a little bit haywire. Yevhenni, it is. It's 11 o'clock at night there, right? 11:12.
Yep. And by the way, 2 hours and we have no air alarm. So you have to.
Is that a record?
Oh, sorry. Because when I in the morning was in my class, yeah, we just finished with the stretching and air alarm was there, so I can't finish class already. So you're happy today, guys.
Hey, what would happen if there was an air alarm and we were on the phone with you? You would say, I have to go.
I'm just drop the phone and go down.
You don't want to say bye to us?
I want to leave, you know.
What about so this week we started at it was 9:30 your time.
Yep.
What are you okay if we start at 9 p.m.
Yeah,
next
it's
week?
good time. Yeah.
Not even a half hour earlier, 9 p.m.
If you want.
Yeah, that would be great for me. 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Okay.
Brother, thank you very much. I really appreciate your patience with me.
Thank you. It was interesting and it's good opportunity to talk about our problem because I heard from you that not too many information you know about that happening here. And you know what? The Russians people know so little information about that, so they can't formalize the point of view, and they sit there and think that everything fine, that Putin goes and save us and like that, you know. So we must talk about it. We must spread our positions, yes, and we must live with the peace in the heart, I think. I don't know, and kill these fucking soldiers from Russia. Yeah.
Live with peace in the heart and kill the soldiers from Russia.
Yeah, because they come to our land and want to kill our peace in our heart. I think it's terrible. And you know, Ukraine is every time is a very peaceful people, really. If you don't know how to when you look on the Ukraine and Russian and you know who is who, you can just talk with them. We don't be aggressive, yes, and every time and all the time in history, Ukraine was peaceful people. But the really, if you read history, every time Russian was on us and want to kill the idea of Ukraine, kill the most wisdom people from Ukraine, and that's the world that we live now and live before. So now we have the opportunity to finish with that. We struggling all these years, and now there's opportunity. And if we deal with it, I think all world can know what people live in Ukraine and how good is it. Okay.
On the thank you very much. So we will read. I'm kind of excited for next week to hear what kind of changes there've been. We'll talk again next week.
I think I hope I be live to the next week, guys.
Oh,
and
Yevhenni,
this
is that
true.
real? That is true. That's true. Do you feel that way? It's that intense. Yeah.
No. Repeat, please.
It is that intense. That's how imminent danger is. That that is your first
all
thought
the
when
stuff that I talk about live in our cities is now like this. And the Odessa, the city where I live now, all this time there was normal situation, yes. But now every time we hear about that Russia want to drop their power to Odessa too, because no one city must be good in Ukraine now. It's the point.
I'll touch base with you every day. Thank you, Yevhenni, for your time.
Okay, be on touch.
It's very powerful for us. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your story. And if there's anything you need, I mean, we're on WhatsApp together, so just let's just stay in touch every day.
Okay, thank you.
Can you send pictures through WhatsApp?
Yes.
Okay, will you send me pictures of Odessa?
I understand that you see nothing, yes, and I try to be a part of information from Ukraine. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yevhenni.